Could be.
So, so I'm sharing this. I've been sharing the journey of the land, basically, the space with the owner, Alexandra. I was telling you a little bit about her. She was actually one of my massage clients, and her father passed away 2 years ago in January. And she reached out saying, I'm in California. I don't want to have to sell the house. I'm not ready to make a decision about it. Can you help me do something with it? So that's when I started helping her host. And then I found myself being here to be hosted my own self, became my own guest. And so during this time, we've done different ceremonies and whatnot in the home. But of course, it's always different when you're in it day in and day out. So it speaks. It's 104 years old.
That's so crazy.
There's many, many things that have occurred here. There's a lot that is actually cleared here. There's some, there's a little boy's heart that's been healing, here, and there's a lot of bitterness that has been shed, and this came down a couple of months ago, actually.
Oh yeah, I saw
with
that.
the winds, and it's funny. Now it feels like it's time to transform it into something else, but at the time, it just needed to just be there. And whatnot. So when started really significantly, I would say Tuesday equinox, when this message was about it's from the river, and she spoke this: when my children suffer, I will wash their pain away. When my children suffer, I will wash it all away. She's moving in this way, and we'll invoke some of those elemental melodies when we do the collective hum later. The significance of that for here is that then we found, of course, this past week, just the way the elements were moving was just, ridiculous, and
oh yeah,
unavoidable. Like you can't possibly not pay attention to it. The wind spoke with the same energy. I found myself videotaping maybe 30 minutes of the wind. And it was this move with everything that you are.
Yeah, like
all that you are.
200 years back, earthquake had come. After 200 years, this belt is not at all prone for earthquakes.
Right.
Suddenly, on quick, it happened.
And that, right, exactly. That came afterwards. It was
that is wind, also very.
It was the rain, and then the river was just literally swollen. And she really now had this energy of it.
Did the water come up?
No, it doesn't come this way, and I'll show you a video. She was moving like
furiously,
a mother, like heavy but steady. And that message of when my children suffer, I will wash their pain away. And it was just like the absolute conviction. There was no doubt, no hesitance, no nothing. I'm moving with all that I am, and I'm washing my children's pain away. And the wind had the same message of this: move with all that you are. And then like 2 days later, which I thought was maybe the boiler or something, because I was like, and then I'm like, are you kidding? And so I named that recording Water Moves, Wind Moves. And then Thursday, I'm like, the Earth moves. And then Sue, who runs the yoga center with me, she was like, well, that leaves fire. And I'm like, well, that sounds like Monday. And it was that day, that Thursday. It was a Friday? What was it? What day was it?
Friday.
Friday was it. Okay. When it became clear that the meditations that I do to help to maintain the space, they form a field, and we'll do that here. We'll form this field, and they highlight all the points of connection that a space has already had. But what kept coming through very clearly, most recently, in this past, since equinox at least, it was about these points of connection that hadn't yet come yet. like the collection of what makes this Grey Cottage, the water, land, the soil, and
Yeah,
the
all five
building
elements.
built upon it, the entire thing that is within the torus field, wants to and is ready to contribute to points of connection going forward into the future. So it was this, okay, like this past is good, project here. And I said, oh, all right, you ready for this kind of land blessing and this kind of home blessing now? And then that's when the earth moved. That's when it became clear I needed to reach out to YouTube. If I'm doing that for this space, I hope that they will come and join. And so that's where that came in. And here we are today. And yeah, so
Thank you so much for inviting us.
you know, listening and following, right? Sometimes we don't have the answers, but we have the knowing. Something is meant to be, and that gets to be enough of an answer in its own way, in a different way. Maybe the mind isn't completely satisfied because it still wants details, but the mind is only one piece of it, right? The consciousness says, no, I know. I have enough to hold on to here. I know. And this is good enough. So I wanted to begin with, it's just got three parts to it. So there's an acknowledgement of the land that we are standing upon, which was walked upon and cultivated long before any of us got here. The land acknowledgement. There's an Algonquin water blessing, which is feels like just a very perfect thing to add to this. And then a strengthening of the energy field here in what the whole container is water, land, and the construction, the man-made construction. And this is pretty much ground zero, which is why we're standing here. It's because it's about the center point.
Yeah.
When I project out and I see the circumference of that field, this right here is about that area. So that's why we're here. So why don't you guys come on over and let's form a nice little something here.
You bottle the
It's just know that it's your. Oh, you don't have to. That's just me. I only wore them because I know I'm going out there. But usually this is. Because I like to. And the culture. So if you prefer, then please.
because
Not,
that makes
I always say shoes are optional. You are more than welcome. I thought that was for Air Force One. It was either up above or down below, so it's like this. And it was not
I
above.
didn't even bark. She didn't care. She was laid up. She was not. Not moving. Why not?
So just know that you being you is more than you. That's why I don't be in my the call came when my you were called to be here. So it's really further for you. Present and how and your own self as this vessel of energetic flow, how that already allow the purpose of this land acknowledgement is to address invisibility, combat cultural erasure, and build affinity and alliance with all peoples. Today we join together in what we call summer sets to
acknowledge and honor the land on which we stand, that was previously known by its original inhabitants, who were not beholden or limited to anything. We would like to honor all ancestral stewards of this land on which we meet today, and their descendants living in over 1,000 tribes, nations, bands, pueblos, communities, and native villages. As visitors to this land, I am from Canada and Tobago. My grandparents are from Barbados, and their grandparents from Penny and Togo. If you are aware of your land of origin, you're participating in I could do it from the area. My mom was from York area, my dad's from Jay, and my grandparents are from Mexico, the Great.
My grandparents were descendants from Mexican Indians and people from Spain. They suffer a lot, but even my grandmother was just so aggressive, but they are with me all the time. I was born it's probably a model of lots of Europeans. So these two girls didn't come to US. Mother was getting educated. Because of them, they have all this charity. I'm not interested. That's why I went there for me. These two girls are born in southern part of India. While I was born in central part of India. So we are basically southern part of India. My parents and my uncles and visited from
So visitors to this land, we strive to keep it on our understanding knowledge and respect for local communities. We commit to primate our responsibilities to the land and to the community. We come with respect for the land and for the people who have and who reside here. To recognize and honor the people who speak almost as many different languages as there are tribes, as the contemporary custodians of this land. And we support their full return to continual stewardship. The breath of thanks, especially that we can really feel our feet on the earth. Let us visualize, let us sense their feet on the earth. The earth they walk on, how they walk. Is cultivated. Relationship that they developed with the earth. They learn to walk like that. These are like that. These are hands. So there's the Algonquin blessing, and we're close enough to water for this part. It's super simple. I think you'll get it. And we do it 7 times. So I'm guaranteeing by the time we're halfway through, we'll all be on board. Needy, needy, wobble, wobble, and down, and down. Aki, aki, misky, misky, needy, wobble, needy, wobble. Wobble, needy, wobble, and down, and down. Aki, misky, needy, wobble, needy, wobble. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey. 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 As you get the hang of it, let that from the neighbor. You all have some familiarity with either a breath of fire or a type of pranayama or activating the navel. So let it come from there. It's not crazy sharp, but that's the point of the strength of it. So I'll sing it through one time, and then we'll do it. So we're doing 4 directions: earth, sky, and then 1 for Kotai. So this is just the preparatory intro one. Also, this is they call this the grandmother's stand to the water, blessing of the mother. Literally this trick. Deep breath. You can get as close as we are to the end that you want to choose. This from the Union of the Water. Beautiful. My music partner. I'll be the only one who has a so thanking, receiving. Like when you have two dogs, you have the one of them not gonna have. Yeah. Energizing, supporting. Even in the water, there are elements of earth, of the earth. Oh. So these things are good. Thousands of women. Wars. This is what it is. Purification of the poison connected to all of it. Many different relationships. Clear is that energetically itself wants to participate. Part of how people continue to live their life. Every idea, wherever it is, to the point that there is this center, the center of this feeling is your experience. As other views, God, you are connected to that visual movement, that feel experience, that feel. It creates a language where it is expressed. So you identifying something that you either already experienced as a field experience or that you want to experience as a field experience. This is coming from your own personal experience. You are contributing. is to one from that point, then another is a distance, and then the second layer is literally, and by identifying those two layers, the light in between layers, it becomes more obvious because now there's the activity within this space. The name of so this is a light oscillator, and which builds inside this layer here. The layer goes from parallel to the earth, then to and then in the other direction. Each of those containers of light oscillator has a different sound. The first, the second, so this is the beginning of, so this is what internally the entire here from the parallel to the, and so that's the beginning of that part one of the, there is a weaving again, and it's interesting for me because now the second location, and then the first is the weaving, you know, the weaving was the same, but what it looked like was different. Here the weaving comes from watery vines, but this really makes sense for this place. And whereas that one came from the house itself, this comes from the land to the land. And what whatever they, however they're formed, they do the same thing. There is this direction going. It's like taking two threads, and one's going this way and one's going that way at the same time, until they go all the way around back to the beginning, and they form very much like in the purple the forest. You know, just like a heavy belly, you know, kind of a spherical thing. So this is the like cultivate. And it's so the way it goes is like oscillating, like pulsating. And it flows in this way, it sounds like a pulse, which is why I hear it. The sound, really, how it sounds is that. Because there's a flowing into this entire field and a flowing out. And that's what makes good dynamics, like good respiration. The place should have things flowing into it, and it should also flowing out of it. So that's what's going on there. From the actual motion of that light pulsating, at the center of it in the core comes light streaming, which is it is created only as a result of this. The light streams in a high pitch down. And the message here is as far above, so below, connecting with the grid of the earth, the lines connecting with the grid of the earth. So that's how the whole thing comes together. So I'll voice the melody to it one more time now that you have that understanding. As again, you stand and contribute energy of your field experience to create more language for this space. Experience. Real experience. And when you do this, there's no, I don't know how the right thing. Let's take a pause or I don't know if it just kind of soak in. Oh, you came. Eagle came. Oh, I didn't see them in a little bit. I heard them last week over there. And sometimes they're like, yeah, by the time I run out, I just like, it's amazing. It's a huge tree over there. Right? Yay!
But every animal has a research center, right? So eagle is also like
Oh, that's a blessing in and of itself. So yeah, it's a perfect time to actually walk about the land a little, and now that you've had that kind of communication with it, now that you've contributed that kind of and then we'll begin, okay, and we'll head to the river.
And there's clementine here.
And crackers and
And crackers.